About 20 years ago, I was heavily into black and white negative photography, and I took these photographs you see here. The lamp was what captured my attention. It's very old, probably around the Meiji period, maybe Taisho, not sure. It's at least Showa era, early Showa era. And when I took the photograph the second time, this flash of light came out. And at the time I didn't notice it. I just thought it was going to be another shot of the lamp. However, upon developing the film, this came out. And looking at the following negatives, I noticed that there was a dragon's face in many of the shots I took of the local area. Other creatures were in the shots as well, as you can see in the previous video if you're interested. Many years have passed since I've been to Kyoto. Kyoto is very crowded with many people and tourists, so I usually don't like to go there. However, the dragon photograph and many other paranormal experiences I had in Kyoto piqued my interest. I wanted to see if I could recapture the dragon or at least find the original shrine. Now, as many of you who have been to Kyoto know quite well, Kyoto is full of all kinds of graves, temples, and other historical sites. Now, I didn't go to any of them this time around. I was only interested in finding this one tiny shrine, which nobody seemed to know of its existence, even though it's about 2,000 plus years old. Which is fortunate because there are so many tourists visiting all the temples around Kyoto. This was the one that nobody was near. Even the locals who I asked didn't know of it. It's so tiny and small. It took 3 tries to finally find the exact location I took this photograph. It seemed as though on the 3rd day my ancestors knew that I was getting frustrated not being able to find the exact location. So I went to a local cafe and found 2 people, one who was a lavender and one who was a crystal aura. And lo and behold, they were both very much aware of the temples in the local area. To my surprise, they knew nothing of this one. We had to go look for it. Now, Naomi, who is the crystal aura, was the one who led me up the mountains and took me to a place where she believed it might be. Even she, who had lived there many, many years and actually took care of some of the gravestones and some of the temple grounds by doing gardening work and the like, didn't know of this particular shrine. However, we finally found it. And she said, I never go here because I always feel uncomfortable when I get close to this area. Surprise, surprise. I thanked her for helping me find the shrine. She was very pleased to be of help. So on the way back to the cafe, I asked her if she wanted anything in life because her ancestors had showed up and they wanted to know if there was anything she needed or wanted for her remaining years on this planet. And very much like a crystal, she looked at me and said, I only want to be in good health until the day I die. And I looked at her and said, that's a very crystal-like answer. But in any case, she was a wonderful lady, and I'll never forget her. When I got back to the cafe, suddenly a lavender woman showed up. And I looked at her and I immediately knew her aura. I could see it. And I started to show her the photographs of the dragon that I had took. And she looked at me and said, I have something very similar. And lo and behold, she sent me these 3 photographs you see here of a similar kind of flash going through the camera. Now, being a lavender, she's probably somewhat psychic as well. She had heard of the dragon and some of the stories that relate to this particular part of Kyoto, where apparently spirits can pass through different dimensions or different worlds. And the dragon is the one that protects that particular portal, which seems to make sense because of all the spirits you can see in the first photograph if you look closely. However, she didn't know anything about the shrine. It seems that the dragon spirit doesn't really want people to know much about its location, probably fearing that if a bunch of tourists did show up there, they would destroy the portal. Can't say I blame them. It really was an incredible day. I met all kinds of people at that cafe. A small child from the Shinto world for sure, magenta aura. The cafe owner, a blue, was very kind and helpful. I'm sure my ancestors and their ancestors introduced us to each other in order to exchange important information. Of course, I told them all I could tell them about their auras and purpose in life. They were very grateful. As for me, it finally put an end to something in my psyche I wanted to finish, which was this dragon. It confirmed what I had suspected to be true. They do exist. In another video, I'll go into the very rare dragons who take human form and live amongst us. There are a few. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you found it interesting. Hope to see you in the next video. And thanks again for watching.